I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to my sponsor, P2 Collectibles, located at 204 East McGalley Road in Muncie and on eBay as well. So next time you're here in Muncie, let us know. Come give us a visit. Hey, what is it, y'all? This is Alex from Plus3 TCG, and I'm coming at y'all with a deck profile today, a little bit more of a casual one. Probably not going to be doing anything crazy at a regional. You might be stunning a few opponents, both physically and probably emotionally, because this deck hasn't been around in a while. I guess it's a variant of an old deck. Traptrix, kind of a little bit of a hat variant minus the hands. But you'll see what I am working with here in the deck profile as we go on. So we are playing a Traptrix variant, kind of like hat. So we're just playing the 3 Vermilio, all different rarities. This is your probably one of your most ideal starter cards because this is getting you your trap hole cards. We're playing 3 of these because of course we're trying to see this as a starter card right off the bat. And then we're playing 1 Brick Dionea. This card is for the late game. If you banish it, it's alright I guess, because this is only to extend. Because this is your other normal summon that you can utilize to special a Traptrix Vermilio, since it's your only other target, and then activate its secondary effect, which allows you to pop a spell or trap that your opponent controls. Then that small Traptrix engine is done. Moving on to Fairy Tale Luna. This is one of my favorite cards because it is a much more balanced Kieran, allowing you to just target a monster and target itself and bounce it back to the hand. And if they want to negate it, they just send one from deck. Send one of the copies at least, which is pretty advantageous because if you hit one of their boss monsters, which they might only be playing one of, that is likely they're not going to be able to negate it. Or if it's an extra deck monster and they only play one of, it's likely they're not going to be able to negate it unless they're playing something where they're playing 3 ofs in that main deck. And then on to more stun. We are playing an artifact engine in here. Well, if you didn't already know, this is probably the spice outside of the hands that we're not playing. We're playing Tooth Scythe because this card is very important still. It stuns your opponent for a turn, not allowing them to use the extra deck, so it stuns pendulums and anything else that tries to special summon heavily from the extra deck. And then 1 Moral Talk. I know this thing is at 2. This card is still a brick. All of these are bricks. You never want to draw them, so we're trying to play a very minimal amount of these. So 2 Scythe and 1 Moral Talk. For me is great. I would also say that this is the correct ratio to be running of these. Moral Talk, if you really think that you're going to be playing more stuff that's trying to like spam the board from like hand, I guess you can play more Moral Talks. I really don't think that is correct though, because Scythe just has a lot more utility. A Moral Talk doesn't clear boards, it just deals with 1 problem card. Then on to the hand traps. We're playing 3 Droll. I feel like this is still relevant, and the fact that this is not playing very many normal summons or any combo cards. It's just meant to stun your opponent. Playing as many hand traps and traps as you can is very good. 3 Ash Blossom, just very good utility card. And then only 2 Ghost Ogre. I don't feel like this has as much utility as like a Droll or something like that. You don't want to play Gammas because you are playing Duality in this deck, so you don't want to run the risk of drawing into that and a Duality. You don't want to have conflicting hands. Anyways, I only play 2 of this because, like I said, I don't feel like it's as good. On to the spells. 2 Duality, just for draw cards. 2 Pot of Desires. I kind of want to run 3 Duality and 2 Desires, or 3 Duality and 1 Desires, or even just bump Duality up to another one, because this card is just great. It gets you the cards you need, your normal summons or your traps. And then we have stuff to get rid of traps. 2 Twin Twisters. You can afford it in the deck. You don't have to play MST like you did with Hat, because you need the resources. Now you have stuff you can discard. Scapegoats, because this card just is amazing. It allows you to really play with your extra deck, play with the link summoning aspect, and make, I wouldn't say powerful boards, but allows you to extend with Saryuja. You can make Borolo too as well, which is good. Just stuff you didn't have access to when you were playing Hat. So this card just really gets you there, gets you the advantage, gets you the traps. Speaking of, 3 Sanctum. This card is great. Playing Desires kind of sucks because I mean, the probability of this happening isn't very often, but for some reason I have banished all 3 of these twice in the testing I've been doing the past couple days with this deck, which sucks, but that's variability. That shouldn't happen very often, so continue to play that. In my opinion, play Desires, but that's up to you. The numbers are there. 3 Sanctum and then 3 Trap Holes. Bottomless Trap Hole because, well, I play Bottomless Trap Hole, Floodgate, and Time Space Trap Hole because I feel like they have the most utility. Obviously, we're not playing Treacherous, and I don't think you should play Traptrix, Trap Hole, Nightmare because the fact that your opponent might not use that special summon monster's effect that turn, I guess. They might just be using it to stun, like to summon it so they can stun you on your next turn, which then Traptrix, Trap Hole, Nightmare is just bad. It's got its uses, though. Then we are playing almost a full Solemn Brigade, 2 Solemn Strike, a Solemn Warning, and Solemn Judgment, 2 Summon Negates, and 2 Effect Negates. And these are our extenders for the deck, as far as traps go. Call the Haunted and Back to the Front. Honestly, I'm still really back and forth. With the testing I've done with the deck, Back to the Front is amazing because they can't like MST or Twin Twister and then get rid of the monster. But everything you have in the deck has really low defense, so they can just run over it. But for the most part, you're just trying to summon like Remelio off this, or you're trying to summon an artifact so that you can stun your opponent. So that the monster getting run over for the most part isn't that important. But if you don't want it to get run over, Call the Haunted is great because unless they have something to just get this off the field, if this survives, then you have your monster and all of them are above 1600 attack. And if you can get a Luna back with either of these, that's great because you can just bounce the Luna back to your hand, which is even better with Back to the Front because this is just getting activated and MST can't do anything to it. And then in the form of board wipes, our trap board wipes, Storming Mirror Force. The utility is there because this deck has problems like getting over really big boards. It can like pick your stuff apart with little traps and stuff like that, but I can't play torrentials because I really need the board. And with only like, what am I playing? 7 normal summons, I really don't have much that I can do to get over stuff, so I have to really rely on my traps to get over most of my opponent's monsters, which is pretty much the curse of the stun deck. You have to really rely on your stun ability to control the board, which Scapegoat and your traps really allow you to do. And then Rafflesia. Honestly, this card is just for the Traptrix monster name, honestly. You don't make it too often because you just don't get... It's not as good as it once was. And even when it was good, it wasn't that good. But it still has its utility. And the fact that you can utilize your trap holes from deck is still kind of strong. Abyss Dweller, because this shuts off a lot of matchups. Tornado Dragon. These are kind of the things you want to start with if you do... go into like, I don't know, like Decode Talker with Scapegoat or something, and you have a rank 4 you can make. Rank like after turn 1, I don't know. These are like, or if you just want to make a turn 1 monster, I guess you can do that. But really in this deck, that's not happening. You're never making a rank 4 turn 1. And the Diamond Dyer for the spot removal. Utopia package for just getting over problem cards, big stuff. Stuff that's not 5,000. Link monsters, this is pretty much all just Scapegoat stuff. Link Karibo, Link Spider, Mrs. Radiant, Underclock Taker, Decode Talker. I actually did get the chance to make this one time with 4 monsters, and I had a monster in hand. So I just had because I couldn't get over, I can't even remember what it was. It was something with like 3,000 attack. Or 3,000 defense, and I had to summon Decode Talker with a Scythe on this corner, and then I summoned a Luna, and that was enough to get over it, and that was enough to push for game. But it took a couple turns. That's, once again, the curse of the stun deck. We're playing one Ningirsu. Good spot removal. I'm not making it often, but the theory's there. Borlo Dragon to get over stuff, and then YUGIOH to help you extend your traps. And then for the lone synchro monster that you're hardly ever making, but it does come up. Like I said, this deck has problems getting over boards, and the fact that you can make Black Rose Dragon with your hand traps in a level 4 is relevant enough to play it. I made it a lot of times in testing. I wouldn't say a lot. I'm trying to think back, maybe like 4 or 5 times I made Black Rose, and yeah, it's good. Your hand traps don't always come up, and things like Ghost Ogre and a Luna, or Ghost Ogre and a used Mermelio or Dynea is pretty good. So yeah, that's the deck profile, y'all. Tell me what you think down in the comments section below. I really enjoy playing these stun decks. At least I'm really getting used to playing these stun decks. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to play Altergeist. When those cards come out, I will be providing you a deck profile. But until then, y'all, this is Alex from Plus 3 TCG, signing out.